I know I'm a little bit late talking about this, but on Tuesday, the second official trailer for the Assassin's Creed movie dropped online, and much like I did after the first trailer, I've got a few thoughts about it, and once again, not entirely stoked for this movie still, although admittedly, this could partly be due to the fact that the Rogue One trailers have set the bar for trailers insanely high. Now, I will admit that I maybe am being a little bit harsh on this movie and somewhat judging it by its cover, based solely on the fact that it is a movie based on a video game. But given the history of movies based on video games, it seems like one downfall that many of them have is trying to rely too much on familiar imagery from the games to draw in audiences, rather than using that familiar imagery to tell a compelling story. And I think whether or not this movie actually goes about trying to tell a story more so than relying on familiar imagery will essentially make or break this movie. Sort of in the sense that imagine a movie where we get our hero for an Assassin's Creed movie, he's thrust into things, but doesn't really go through the natural hero cycle that you would see in an actual good superhero movie. And I think to some degree that's what people want. You want this main protagonist to be a hero of sorts. So they have to go through some ups and some downs and discovering what they're capable of, but then doubting what they're capable of against what seems to be an insurmountable foe, and eventually they find strength within themselves to grow and become stronger and ultimately succeed. We need that in this movie. We don't need just, here's an assassin, there's the bad guy, look, the assassin killed the bad guy. We need more than that, and that's what I'm hoping this movie can deliver on. One thing that I think could be particularly cool about showing the hero's journey within this universe is the idea that if maybe the protagonist, Callum Lynch, is on some kind of mission, he's got to learn how to do certain things to become an assassin, and if he screws up, the memory desynchronizes, much like how if you screw up or if you die in the video game, you basically have to do it again. And if he's going through the beginning stages of this memory until he gets it right, and that's how he learns and grows, I think that'd be a cool way to interweave the actual functionality of the game and the animus in general within what could be a compelling growth period for this hero. But to be honest, by watching this trailer and the first one, I get the sense that they're leaning a little bit more heavily toward just kind of showing a lot of familiar imagery and not as much on trying to tell a really compelling story. Obviously, I hope that I am wrong and that interpretation, and probably admittedly rushed to judgment, is indeed wrong, and that they tell a sweet story within the Assassin's Creed universe and finally have a big budget video game that turned into a big budget blockbuster movie that actually succeeded. But when I see things in the trailer that appear to be characters doing things that aren't necessarily practical, or in other words, flips just for the sake of doing flips, a big part of me worries that we're going to get a little bit of kind of the choreography and sort of action direction of things that we got in the likes of the Star Wars prequels, to where, yeah, it might look cool at first, but it doesn't hold up at all and certainly doesn't stand the test of time, because if you don't have a compelling story attached to it, what do you really have? Anyway, that's really all the thoughts I had on this whole thing, and I admit that it's a little bit odd that I would take sort of a pessimistic approach to this movie, but again, like I said, the history of video game movies, particularly recently with the Warcraft movie, which I did not like at all, I feel the skepticism is in every case warranted. But I know there's some people that love this trailer, and if you're one of them, I'd be curious to know what in particular you liked, and also what in particular you would like to see worked into the movie that you would think would be workable from certain aspects of the video game. So whatever thoughts you have, feel free to comment those. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and you know I always appreciate that. Subscribe if you want more videos like this one, although this channel is going to be pretty Star Wars heavy in the coming months, and I hope you're okay with that, because I'm okay with that. But above all else, everybody, thank you so much for watching.